We'll get an acceleration here. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the all-new Volvo XC90 Recharge. First and foremost though, I do want to mention a huge shout out and thank you to the Volvo here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this XC90. And by the way, this particular one is available for the time being. So if you're interested, I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below. If you have any questions, just ask for Mark. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and a hybrid system. When it comes to fuel economy, the MPGe rating is 58. If you have just gas power with no hybrid assist, you can get 27 miles per gallon, and then you have 33 miles of full electric driving range with this system, and that is made possible by an 18.8 kilowatt hour battery pack. Now, if you're wondering in terms of power outputs, it's 455 horsepower and then 523 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, taking a look at the hood, you guys can see it's flat there in the center, and then you've got like the divots there on either side. Now, this XC90 has the Thor's Hammer daytime running lights with the LED headlamps, and then you guys can see parking sensors here on the front end. Notice the Volvo logo that has a camera there in the bottom portion of the logo. And then you notice that everything's been blacked out on the front end of this. And putting it all together, I am a huge fan of how this looks with everything blacked out. Now, coming around the side here, tire wheel setup is 275 40 21 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then if you look at the wheel design, I think it's quite beautiful. You got the silver on the top with the black below that, and it just works. Now, notice that we've got the body painted fender flare right there, which I think looks great. And then this is our little charging port, because again, this is a plug-in hybrid. And then you'll notice with the bodywork all along the bottom all blacked out, and then you got another fender flare there in the back. And then here's our full side view on the XC90, which again, with everything all blacked out, I think it looks good. Let me know what you think. Now, taking a look at the key fob here, you guys can see the Volvo logo, and then notice we've got our unlock function, our lock function, and the opening here for the hatch, which we'll press that, and it'll pop right open. Now, popping into the hatch area of the XC90, you'll notice that the third row is folded down, so we've got quite a bit of storage space with that third row folded down. And you can see with the third row, they actually have little arm pads right there, and we got lots of vent action in the back, as well as some cup holders. We also have a 12-volt there, and then if you're wondering, the third row ends like right here, so you can imagine this is how much space you get if you have the third row folded up. Now, when you're all done, you can press this button to lower the hatch. You can also do the kick feature as well. We're just gonna stick with the button because every single time I try to do a kick feature, I never make it work. I don't have the magic touch. We've got Volvo's distinctive taillights here, XC90 on the back. Then you guys can see the Volvo logo. And of course, we have our T8 all-wheel drive recharge badge. And it also says Polestar engineered right next to it, which is pretty cool. And then parking sensors here at the bottom. Wrapping things up with the rest of the rear, I really like the styling and proportions of the XC90. I think it's the best looking Volvo. Now, taking a look at the door panel here in the rear, you've got some nice padding here at the top and then beautiful wood trim. I think that looks fantastic. And then look at the padding down below. And then you've got your window control and door handle that also look pretty fancy. And then taking a look at the seats, you can see full leather seats here in the rear. When it comes to second row legroom, it's actually pretty solid. You got a storage net here, got a vent there on the side. And then you can see we've got our own climate zone here in the rear with heated seats. We've got some vents and then a little charging port. And then headroom's also good. And would you look at that? We have a cup holder armrest that's in the shape of Utah. That must be a sign. Now, getting in the third row is pretty easy. You just have to grab this handle and then that will throw the seat forward. So, third row space, not the greatest. But headroom back here is actually pretty solid. Now, taking a look at the front door panel here, you guys can see with the trim here at the top and the wood trim down below. We've got all of our memory seat functions and then Harman Kardon sound system as well. Window controls down below, our adjustments here for the mirrors, and you can see the leather trim. And the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's the front seat. You can see with all of the leather, which I think looks great. And then we've got our power adjustments here on the side. And then quickly, this button right here is to open up the hatch. That's for your gas cap release. And then you can see more wood trim. Now, taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see really nice leather trim all around with our darker stitching on the center to contrast. We've got some controls here in the center, actually for the infotainment system, voice command controls. This is actually for the center. And then you guys can see cruise control on the other side. It does have adaptive cruise control if you're wondering. Turn signal light stock, and then windshield wiper stock. Now taking a look at the center gauge cluster here, you can see fully digital, and I can basically get rid of the map view if I want. But I like how it shows you all the information that you basically need. It lets you know with the hybrid system whether you're charging or not, and also lets us know our range on everything as well. Now in reverse, we do have a full 360 camera system, which you can press this button and it'll give us the other camera views. And I like how it actually, like, look at this. The camera view pops on the side of the screen that it's on the side of the vehicle. That's kind of a funky thing to do, but I like it. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment screen, response time with the screen itself is actually really solid. Now, this does have Google integration, so you've got like Google Maps and everything. You can use Apple CarPlay though, if you want, but I will say the Google integration is really solid. Now, we do have heated seats and a heated steering wheel, and you've got your climate tab like there at the bottom, which makes it easy. If you go over the settings tab, however, it does take a second to load up, and then driving, this is where you can actually change your drive mode. So right now we're in hybrid mode. You've got a Polestar mode, which is obviously kind of more like a sport mode. Pure, which is full electric, it won't let us do that because we don't have charge. You got an off-road and then constant all-wheel drive. And then you guys can see with the battery usage, so like right now we can shift it over to charge, go to hybrid, and then it'll, you know, charge up the battery as we drive. Really nice wood trim here with a lot of radio control action and some climate controls too. And then this is actually for the glove box. So yeah, it's automated and pretty spacious glove box. And look at the wood trim above. I really like the interiors on these new Volvos. And then down below, here's our shifter for that 8-speed automatic. And then we have this really nice wood trim that covers up some like cup holder action. And then this is just like a random little storage tab. I always find it interesting how that all connects. And then you guys saw the engine stop starts, the twist tab, your parking brake, your auto hold, and then again, more leather trim here. And you can see in the center console, good storage space in there. Yeah, nice padding. Now up top here, you've got a little slider for the full panoramic sunroof and pretty like padded headliner, which is another kind of interesting touch. Sorry, there's a ton of glare, so it's gonna be hard to see, but this is an XC90 Recharge all-wheel drive plus, and this has the dark theme with it. We've got the standard equipment section here, but anyways, base MSRP is $73,600. This has some packages added to it, including the Polestar package, the Harman Kardon sound system, and all that. Anyways, after all options, this one stickers for $78,915. And I'm gonna have to like squeeze between these two. Actually, we'll have to go around the other side. I was gonna say, we're gonna squeeze between those cars to give you guys a view, but let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, which you can do a blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. And something to note, this could potentially be my last Volvo review for the 23 model year, because I think that this is the last package that I was looking to review, is just XC90 with the Recharge powertrain. I think I've done the 60 with the Recharge for 23. I can't remember honestly though. I review so many cars, it's hard to keep track. I'll have to check. If I haven't done a 60 with the Recharge, then I guess that I'll be back for that. But yeah, this might be it. Right now I have it in the charge mode. I want to get a little bit of battery just for the acceleration and everything. It'll obviously do it regardless. It'll give you the full horsepower even if it says there's no battery charge, but I'm going to try to get us at least a little bit of that going. So that's why we have it in the charge mode right now. I will say though, the engine's, even though the engine's on and everything, it's quiet, very smooth, really comfortable vehicle. And this doesn't have the air suspension. The air suspension with the XC90 makes it ride like very, very smooth. This is smooth, don't get me wrong, but yeah, the air suspension even takes it up a notch. So pretty impressed with the standard suspension. And I really like how comfortable these seats are. And yeah, this wood trim, like this is where I think Volvo just nails it, is the wood trim with this interior, because it just makes it feel so much more premium compared to what we have with a lot of other automakers. And it's like darker in color, so I don't know, I like it. It feels very premium. Yeah, that's solid. So we're gonna do auto, pop it into Polestar. So this is gonna be like our aggressive, you know, performance-y driving mode. It's the best way to put the Polestar mode. Oh, and we got blocked by a bus, so I guess we won't be able to get acceleration like I thought. We'll put it back in the charge mode for a moment. We'll get an acceleration up here in a little bit though. But yeah, really good torque out of this. And it's just, yeah, it's so comfortable. Yeah, I love how just like immediate it is in this Polestar mode. Okay, set battery usage back to auto here. And we'll see how that goes. We'll get an acceleration here. It's quick. It's quick, that's for sure. So summing things up, I've driven the XC90 quite extensively, actually. I did a drive event with Volvo, would have been last year, and I'm just a huge fan of the XC90. I think that it drives really well. I think it looks really good. And then this recharge package, I think this is the route to go, because it's super like fun. The acceleration, I mean, look at this. Like the acceleration is great. It's got a lot going for it. Let's actually put it into hybrid. And let's see if we can get the engine to turn off. And then the fact that, yeah, you've got the practicality of, look at this, no engine. So it's silent. And I can tell you that with Volvo's hybrid system, because again, I have tested this system several times in several different vehicles. If you have a full charge, it's really good at the acceleration. Like it moves at a very solid pace. And on top of being good at the acceleration, you can actually get solid range with this. You can get really close to what the EPA rates at, even if you're doing highway driving. So I'm a big fan. Let me know what you guys think.